Deadpool and Logan have now officially been added to Disney Plus, or Deadpool 2, and Logan for Disney Plus. Obviously, they were owned by Fox. Disney acquired Fox. Now they've put them on their streaming service. Deadpool 1, 2, and Logan are the first R-rated films to be on Disney Plus. They got on there yesterday, as of this recording, on Friday. And that's great. Everybody's like, oh, yay, that's a good one. And there were some funny tweets from Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, their friends and everything. And what I kept expecting to see in these multiple articles I read about this, that's great that they're on there. What I wondered immediately was, have they changed anything? Because Disney Plus is notorious for changing shit, and not even, obviously not rated R movies because they haven't even had them on there. I mean, doing dumb, like what I consider to be some dumb changes to movies, older movies, and just all kinds of movies that end up on Disney Plus, like covering up Daryl
Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, Adventures in Babysitting, with cutting out the fuck that she says. That was an iconic part of that film. Just changing things, and people haven't liked it. They always catch it. Now, I'm sure it'll take at least a few days for anybody to notice if there's been any changes to the films. Logan, it was more violent. It was less, edgy. So I wouldn't be surprised if nothing's really changed there. But Deadpool, I could totally see Disney coming in there and changing some shit. So I'm really curious. And obviously, I don't have anything. My basis of this is what they've done in the past. I'm just curious, do you guys think that Disney, I hesitate to say ballsy enough because Disney got some big fucking balls, but do you think that they will cut anything, change anything, alter, cover up, just to alter these films at all when they put them on Disney Plus? And what are your thoughts about that? Or what do you think? Does this open up like the floodgates for Disney Plus to finally have like a more adult section on it? What do you guys think?
Well, I think they're going to put up a curtain across the back of the video store. So like if you want to get back into those, you gotta go behind the curtain. So I was looking online just to see what was around, and according to like the official quote unquote Disney stuff, basically they say that they've made available they've changed up the parental controls, which they were starting with which they started doing with more mature rated Netflix hero shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage. So if they go that route where they're leaving it in control of the parents, that's one thing. But I don't know. Like, the only thing I could see them changing on Deadpool is, obviously unicorns. You got to be careful of those, so they'd probably take out the unicorn. But otherwise, everything else is fine. There's no violence. I was like a bullet up my main street.
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of things in Deadpool and Deadpool 2 I can see them cutting out, honestly. If they're going to cover up Daryl Hannah's ass and splash and take out one fucking Adventures in Babysitting, and that's just what I know of. There's been other things. They did some stuff to The Simpsons too. I think that was more just the way they framed it. But what do you think, Nick? What is your take on this, as for this whole thing that I put out there?
Well, as Logan being one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, that whole movie is predicated on the violence that it shows as a way of telling the story in a very mature, disturbing way of the future. Well, let's put it this way. They actually did some editing on the Marvel TV series shows as they were airing. So like Moon Knight and I think Captain America, Winter Soldier, whatever, the Falcon, Winter Soldier, whatever nonsense was. So them going, if they're going to do this crap, if they're going to go in and edit these movies, just don't put them on Hulu. Don't put them on Disney Plus, because you're just neutering some of the best comic book movies in the last decade or so.
Yeah, real quick, I want to interject. That's for those of you that don't know, Disney owns Hulu, so that's why Disney owns Predator now. That's why Prey, things like that, rated R affairs or mature affairs are showing up on Hulu and not Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. If they're gonna just keep your mature shit on there. If you're wanting to keep Disney Plus all pure and everything. But instead of altering them. Now, once again, I want to reiterate, I do not know if these movies have been altered. I'm going off of their past history, and I'm just wondering if they are going to or have. I don't know anybody who's watched them on Disney Plus. I'm not going to watch them on Disney Plus. But I'm sure if they alter one single fucking frame of these movies, it's going to show up online somewhere. I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
No, I mean it. Yeah, it is. That's the problem. Like you worry that Disney Plus is going to neuter it, and you know, it'd be stupid to be fairly honest. What's the point in having Deadpool and Logan on your streaming services if you're just going to take out the best parts of the movie? I mean, Logan is R rated for a reason. Deadpool is R rated for a reason. You know, like Adventures in Babysitting. There's no reason or logic. Okay, X-Men Days of Future Past, they actually show Wolverine's ass in that movie and they kept it in there. But yeah, I know, right? Oh my god. But they can't keep, don't fuck with the babysitter in there. I mean, come on. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So you basically be watching there was a joke about neutering TV movies and movies and stuff like that on TV. I can't remember what the joke was. But when we were kids, we would watch Godfather on TBS or Godfather on NBC or something like that, and you're like, "What the hell is this? This is like, this doesn't make any sense." They took out the best parts of the movie, and I don't need that. I need my Logan unedited and unfiltered, and Stephen Merchant and Boyd Holbrook doing their thing. So I don't know.
I'm personally not as, I hesitate to say worried, but I wouldn't think the violence part of it. Disney's kind of like the news; they'll show you violence all fucking day. I mean, I don't see them being. I mean, if it's something super gratuitous, maybe, but I'm not as concerned about them cutting out violence. It's more language and themes. That's why I kind of look at Deadpool, because Deadpool got some raunchy ass shit in that movie, and part 2 as well, which I love, but Disney clearly doesn't. I'm more wondering, are they going to censor some words, or are they going to cut some scenes out? Not the whole scene, but just censor some stuff. And it's that stuff that I figured that they would gravitate towards, not so much the violent side of things.
I just had a really weird thought. So, when Deadpool and his girl are getting it on, and she's like behind him with the strap on, I just imagine like a balloon animal like popping up in the scene. It's kind of like covering. Definitely. But on a more serious note, you think about, okay, you know what, you've got your TV, you're rated for your edited for TV broadcast, but you could always find the original. You could get it on physical media, or you could find it on, one of the pay channels, or it was always someplace. Disney owns all this stuff, and they're very stingy about how they let it out. If they're editing their content on Disney Plus and not having it anywhere else, your options are so limited to get the actual original stuff. And that's so sad, if that's the case.
I'm actually surprised that they released Deadpool and not that PG-13 version that they put out, the Christmas one or whatever, with Fred Savage.
Yeah.
I figured the Princess Bride-esque one, I figured that would be the one they put on Disney Plus. But yeah, I could totally see like that scene where you're talking about, where she's pegging him from behind, and like Mickey Mouse just comes on and blocks it, and it's like, oh, this ain't cool, motherfuckers, you can't be doing this.
Well, Ghost Hand actually makes a good point. They're doing a Marvel Zombies, which is based off the What If series that they did, and it's gonna be rated TVMA. So I mean, maybe Disney's like, we're gonna loosen up our belts and allow a little bit of it to stretch out.
Pegged. They're gonna allow themselves.
Yeah, they're gonna allow. Yeah, exactly what you said. Exactly.
Like I said, I don't think that they have issues with. I mean, to a degree, the violence is not what I'm as concerned about. I'm more concerned about the other mature theme stuff, like that scene in particular that Triv was talking about. That one, I could totally see them changing. They might show it, the visual of it, because it doesn't show anything. It just shows her behind him, like, doing that, right, from what I remember. But I could see them, like, changing what they're saying, because they're just getting really raunchy in those scenes. It's hilarious. That's the comedy of Deadpool, is how raunchy and just fourth wall breaking out there he is. But, I mean, that's all there is to this. Isn't like a huge story. It's more of a talking point. I was just curious, because that's immediate. When I saw Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan are coming to Disney, or are on Disney Plus now, I immediately thought Splash and these other movies we talked about, the Don't Fuck with the Babysitter. I was like, what'd they cut out? What did they cut out of these fucking movies? Because I don't feel like they could just not. I don't think they can help themselves. And you could say, oh, no, they wouldn't dare. Yes, the fuck they would. Disney finna Disney. Yeah. Disney does not give a fuck. They got big ass balls. They'll do it, and then they'll just be like, whatever, you'll forget about it. You get the attention span of a fucking goldfish. So,
but they did with the when they made the changes to was Captain America and the Winter Soldier. was the one that they switched up, Nick?
Well, I mean, in like what way?
The
Are you-
stuff like they
what-
were taking out like
Oh
blood
yeah, they
and
took out
whatever.
like blood from Moon Knight, and they took out some things in Falcon the Winter Soldier. I can't remember exactly what they took out, but it's
Did they have
like
to do that part with the
and they did it
shield
with-
where he decapitates the guy?
probably.
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
I was gonna say that they got. I mean, they got pretty. And not to say, I know Twitter is Twitter, but I do think that people gave them enough shit and are aware of it. They made the change pretty quickly, and then they were like, "Oh, well, that was just a work print. That wasn't the right one." So even though it was ridiculous, lame excuses, they did still make the change because when it comes to Deadpool, when it comes to Logan, people aren't going to sit there and say, we're going to take this. Those movies, they have, it's like everything else, they have the dedicated audience and they're loud. So if they tried that, I feel like they'd be called on it pretty hardcore.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Disney. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't either, but I think that they're, as much as they have big balls, I also think that given enough stuff, they do, as long as it's not like, oh, we need to re-release the entirety of Rise of the Jedi because, we weren't satisfied with the thing. I think people are at least somewhat amicable.
Disney is, if it's gonna make them money, well, it's
Yeah.
they they put saving face and money are right up here, but money is always a little bit higher. So if it's gonna make them money, they'll fucking do it. They don't care. I mean, people, whatever.
I'm sure they gained subscribers from having this on their Disney Plus. I'm sure they gained quite a few subscribers now that they have Deadpool and Logan, because they're huge franchises. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if nothing else, that
And-
people think that, oh, this means they're gonna put other mature rated stuff on there. Now I'll go over to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm just weary about it when it comes to them and editing stuff and change, because I feel like that's when you start changing movies like that. It's like okay. There's been some shit in movies over the years that doesn't fly now. I get it, but that's history. That's the time. And these are newer movies, granted. But they've changed a lot of stuff in movies. There's a bunch of other changes that have been done to smaller properties that people have mentioned as well. Like, they've made a lot of changes to their back catalog, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
are you changing history? It's revisionist history, if you will. And I know maybe I'm going a little bit big there, but I don't like that. Just leave it what it was. People understand when they watch a movie. I mean, me and Triv watched, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, a movie last night that had some stuff in it that was like, oh, that wouldn't fly. But it is what it was. It was a product of its time. Let people make the decision that if they don't want to watch a movie now that was made then with this stuff in it or whatever, they can make that decision that they don't want to fucking watch it. I don't like Disney making the decision that, not that you don't want to, you can't. You have no option to watch that original version, of course, unless you go buy physical media, but whatever. Whole nother discussion. But so that's Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2. They're on Disney Plus now, so if you're interested in that, go, I guess, check out Disney Plus. I would be interested to hear from people that know, and I'm sure we will hear soon enough if they are edited in any way.
I can tell you right now, I just to check to see. I just went and looked at it. They're unedited, so they're indeed the R-rated versions.
Nice.
Okay, well, cool. Well, there it is. I mean, I didn't think that they would like edit them down to PG-13 or anything. I'm just wondering if there's something that some big wig up at Disney's like, oh no, everything else, okay, we'll let it go, but that's gotta go. I don't know. We'll see. And this could be a nothing burger of a story. Like I said, it's not really a story. It's just something I was wondering. But